Hope you can see my screen, Rachit. Just a check.
Yeah.
So today we're going to speak about the introduction for the Power Platform for D365 professionals. So our main agenda is to walk you through the Power Apps and all. So before we introduce about this session, I want to introduce about the speakers. So one is me. This is Venkatesh. I have close to 8 years of experience on Dynamics. And you can reach us on the link which is provided on the link experience on the F&O is what I'm talking about. And you can reach us on the LinkedIn using the link. And we also have Rachit, who is a solution architect. And you can reach Rachit using the LinkedIn link. Okay, without much delay, we will go into the session. So we are talking about the Power Platform. So when I speak about Power Platform for Microsoft, so this has the 5 apps, which is currently Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, and Power Pages. So Power Automate is usually called as Microsoft Flow before. Now it is renamed into Power Automate. And these apps now are coming along with the copilot capabilities with the AI. Regarding the AI part, more will be covered by Mr. Rachit. And these all are available for data connectors, and we have AI Builder and Dataverse. Okay, so using this, you can produce a web and mobile apps completely on the Power App. So it has a customizable tasks and role-based canvas apps with either the data from multiple sources or from one sources. And you can take the data either from F&O or any kind of solution from Microsoft. And they have inbuilt integration available automatically. And these are currently available at free of cost until certain limits of data. And after that, it is chargeable. So initially, you wanted to try the capabilities, you can do it for free of cost and check how it is going on. And there are also multiple free applications designed already by Microsoft. You can use the designs and practice and see how it is going. I'll also take you through the system and show you that. And these are model-driven apps and from your data model and from business processes. So these can consume the accessible apps across web, mobile, and embedded and standalone on any device. So you can use it through your mobile phone, tablets, and these are all cloud hosted. Okay, let me take you through the system. So this is the Power App screen. Hope Rachit, I'm showing the Power App screen to you. Just
yeah. Yeah, we see your Power Apps screen. Yeah.
So this is one app which is available for a HR solution. So more of an leave request submission. So you can see this is directly available from Microsoft as a sample app. I'm going to show you this. So you can just log in as an employee. Okay, you can check the leave balance or what are all the company holidays. And if you want to submit a leave request, you can submit a request. So create a request just to give the dates from and when you want the leave. So I'm selecting for 3 days from 11th of July. Click OK till 13th of July. And I'm giving vacation first. Date is correct. Select the type and then submit the request. So you can see the request has been submitted. So this is one of a small application which you can use. So you can see the view of a tablet or phone or how you it will resemble on the browser. So with three different views you can see. So they'll just click. So if you select the tablet, so it is showing all kinds of available tablets. Currently it's showing Apple and Samsung. Let's see for Apple Mini how it shows. So you can see how the screen is visible for a tab. Let's see for some phones. iPhone 14. So this is how it looks like. And on the browser, this is the screen. So this is on the side of Power Apps introduction, and more on this Power App, Rachit will be speaking to you. Over to you, Rachit.
Thanks, Venkat. So guys, what we are trying to basically cover today is that what are the capabilities this Power Platform provides and how we as finance and operations professionals can leverage it, right? So Venkat, are you fine for me to start my 3 demo scenarios or?
Yes, yes, Rachit.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'll just share my screen, guys. Let me know when you can see my screen. So my screen is on this side and my camera is on this side. So I will now look here. Is my screen
Yes, we
visible?
can see your screen. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, this Power Platform is a new latest platform by Microsoft, which gives us low code as well as pro code capabilities, which means people with no coding experience can build apps. Also, people who are professional developers can build apps using the programming. So what we are trying to cover here is how we can use low code experience and how we can use it in combination with finance and operations. And recently, like Microsoft introduced AI copilot in Power Apps, so we will try to cover that also. Just give me 1 minute. I'll take you guys through a quick slide. Just a minute. It up a little bit, yeah. So basically, as we see that Power Platform is comprised of these platforms. Power BI is for mainly for data analytics. Power Apps is for developing apps, which provides you UI capabilities through which you can interact with the applications. Power Automate is like the engine under the hood, which is basically it automates a lot of your business processes. Power Virtual Agents is used to create experiences where you want to have chat experiences like customer support or help chatbots. And Power Pages is used to create external facing websites. This could be your portals or your inquiry screens or even your full-fledged websites where people can come and interact with the services your company provide. And all these frameworks are basically powered through Dataverse, which is data as a service. It's also called as database plus plus, and it's quite a powerful engine to store your data in different formats and provides you security. So there are a lot of things which go under the hood, but we will not talk a lot on the slides, but we'll try to show you things in the system. So let's talk about Power Apps. So when we talk about Power Apps, think of it as a way to interact, which means it's all about UI. And Power Apps come in, let's say, 2 different flavors. One type of apps are called Canvas apps, and the other types are called model-driven apps. So when you see your applications like customer engagement, these are your model-driven apps. They have a different look and feel, and they are built on top of Dataverse as their data source. But Canvas apps can be used with multiple variety of data sources. That's where the benefit of Canvas app lies. So in order to log into your Power Apps page, you just simply have to log into make.powerapps.com and it takes you to your Power Apps homepage. Now, when it takes you to your homepage, it basically logs you into a default environment and you can change your environments. So if you click on this gear icon and this environment here, you will see all the list of your environments. Now, in order to use your AI Copilot capabilities at this moment, because it's in preview mode, you have to enable few copilot in your environment admin center. So basically your Power Apps or Dataverse should be hosted in the US region. That's one of the prerequisites. So if your Dataverse environment is not hosted in US, you might not be able to use the AI Copilot capabilities. So if you go to your Power Apps environment, and then under your settings, you can basically look at Copilot preview, which is basically enabled. Let's look at the environment also. If I go to the detail view, and here in the, I think it's somewhere in the settings, here we have something here in the product features. We have the Copilot, which is in preview as enabled here. So this has to be enabled. Now, once this is enabled, your environment is hosted in US and you log into your Power Apps, you see this nice widget here, which basically helps you to kickstart your journey. So the idea is that when you have to start playing around with Power Apps, you don't have to worry about doing things from scratch. There are many different ways you can start creating your Power App. So what I'm going to show is how you can use AI Copilot to create a Power App. And then we will also show how you can create other capabilities. So the AI Copilot console here basically is based on natural language model. So basically you can actually describe what you want to build. So if I say create an app to track visitors in my display home, capture name, address, and let's say telephone. So I just tell the Copilot control in a natural language that what app I am trying to build. And now what this AI Copilot is doing is it's basically trying to interpret the information you have given, and it creates a Dataverse table structure. So it's not yet in Dataverse, but it has given you that based on the input what you have given, this is the table I have come up with. So let's say I want to say, this is good. I want to basically have separate columns, create separate columns for first name and last name. So let's say I have some typo errors as well, but let's see if it's able to interpret it. So what this is doing is it's trying to interpret your instruction, and it will try to change the data model which the system originally created. So let's see if it works. It's working on it. So now you can see we have separate columns for first name and name. So you can actually change the data model based on just by interacting with the Copilot control. I can say add a column to capture the date. So let's see if it adds. So this way you are actually, I'm not actually going to a table and creating a field and selecting the type and giving it a label. It's already doing it for me just based on the Copilot. So now we can see it has added a column which is day. If I look at this, it's a data type of text, and I can say, okay, if it's a day, convert it to a fixed list. Convert the day column to a fixed list, having days of the week as option. So let's see what this does. So not only it's creating the table structure and the fields, it can actually also change the metadata property of the fields which it is creating. So let's see what it does here. So if you look at the day column now, you can see the icon has changed to a choice column. And if I look at the view, it has automatically added all the available days in a week as my list of choice, which user can select. So this is how you are now interacting with AI Copilot in a natural language, and it has created a table structure for you. Let's say we are happy with it and we say, okay, create an app. So now what this AI Copilot is doing, it's taking that metadata definition and actually creating a Dataverse table under the hood, and it will also give us a Power App which is basically a working version based on that table. So let's wait for it to finish. If I would have done manually, my hands are here. I'm not doing anything manually. If I would have done manually, I couldn't do this fast. Like no way I could have created a table, fields, properties, Power App, and gone to and added the pages and created a working version. So as you can see, it's creating a Power App. It's loading the page now. It has actually created a Dataverse table, and it's now creating the UI for me. And this, what we are doing is a Canvas app. Now, at this moment, the limitations are that it only works with Dataverse type of as a data source in it. So we cannot say, okay, store this data. It actually works only with Dataverse, and also it created some sample data for us, and it is only available in US region. So now we can see it has created an app with a main screen, with a container, and we have table name. So I think if you are from FNO uh, side, then you will be able to understand this is like a structure of the form where all these field controls are present, and I can actually play this app. So this is literally a working version 1.0 of the app where you can start creating new records, search, and interact with it. As Venkatesh showed, it has this preview where you can experience the app based on different type of layout. So you can change the layout and you can see how my app will look. So this is one way you can start playing with Power Apps. Now, so far we are not talking about finance and operation because Power Platform is not only about FNO, it has much more rich capabilities. So uh, when you start learning Power Platform, keep FNO aside for some time, try to focus on what this platform offers. So, and here you can see there are like all these different type of controls which are available. So you can see this is how there are different controls. And here you can see a copilot preview control, which is basically you can add it and interact with your database to give you more insights. So this is just one example on how you can start using AI Copilot to create Canvas apps. Now, AI Copilot is also available in Power Automate, which we will cover when we talk about it. At this moment, I just don't save it, but basically what I wanted to show was how you can use Power Apps Copilot. There are few more things on how you can start. So when you click on Create, here you can see you can start either from a blank app. This is good because if you want to really go deep and understand each and every control and property, you can start creating from a blank. Otherwise, you can start creating from a Dataverse table. This is where it basically will ask you to pick a table. You click on Create App, it automatically creates a 3-screen app layout for you. So this is also a good way to start creating Power Apps based on Dataverse. Third way is like these are SharePoint, Excel. So you can actually have your data in Excel, upload it, and it will create a Power App from that. Now, there are a few more other things. These are the templates which Microsoft has published. So you can search and use these templates to either understand or dive deep. So for example, there is a help desk Canvas app. You can just click on the template, click on create. It will come up with the default screen and all the connections under the hood. And you can also understand how this works. So while it's loading, I'll also show you a few more things. So basically the URL is make.powerapps.com. There are other ways to create. One is to start with a page design. This is where you can use tools like Figma. So Figma is a wireframe tool where you can prototype your UI. So you can create a Figma file, upload it, and it can give you a jump starting Power App. You can also upload an image here. So you can draw it literally on a paper, draw it and upload it, and it can show you come up with a Power App. So the message we are trying to give is that there are different ways to jumpstart your learning on Power Apps. So let's see here. So this is the help desk Power App by Microsoft. You can start using it or you can start playing around with it. And on each of the screen, screen, you will be able to see how it is basically wired. So there is the control, there are all the properties. So we have limited time, so can't go through each of them, but this is basically a very good way to understand how to build Power Apps from the standard templates. So this was the first thing we wanted to show. Let us have a quick run through at the Q&A, then I'll move on to the second demo use case which we have. It can create relationships with other tables as well, one to M to M. So I hope, Syed, you're talking about the AI Copilot capabilities. I haven't tried that yet, but yeah, I am not sure if it can do that. But it only works with Dataverse at the moment. We can give it a try. Can it do configurations in FNO? For configurations in FNO, Debashish, thanks for that question. I think Power Automate is a more suitable tool for that, because Power Automate can be used to initialize your data in FNO. So there is a connector with finance and operations for Power Automate, which can be leveraged. So it's not true for every type of configuration, but if there is a data entity, or I would say a public data entity available for that configuration, it can definitely be leveraged. Power Automate Desktop RPA. Thank you, Umesh. Yes, RPA is more about robotic process automation, wherein you can record your things and you can start working with it. While we're talking about Copilot, I'll also quickly show you about Power Automate. So basically, when you go to your Power Automate homepage, the AI Copilot capabilities are already also available in Power Automate, and they're also available in Power Pages. It's very similar experience there, where you can tell what you want to build. So you can say build a flow to send an email when a new. So you can see there are suggestions also coming up when a new email when a new SharePoint list is created. So basically, it's similar experience, but the benefit of Copilot is it just reduces that time which you would have taken to initially create things by your own. Here it tells you, okay, based on your description, I have identified these triggers and these actions. Do you want to continue? We can click next, and it will create an app. So sorry, this is how the AI Copilot experience looks in Power Automate. Venkatesh, you want to add anything here? And then I can move on to my next scenario.
No, that's good. And one more question we have from Ramanan is, will the data sync automatically by Copilot Dataverse to D365
So Copilot is basically helping you to create the table structure and create the UI app. Once your app is available, you can basically use it to create and edit data. You can also upload data through Excel if you are using a model-driven app. I'm not sure about Copilot capabilities to sync data. I'm not sure if there is any such capability released by Microsoft. All right. So, okay. I'll move on to the next use case. Now I'll start talking a bit about finance and operation, how we can use Power Apps with finance and operation. So what we have done is, as we know that Microsoft has released integration frameworks with Power Platform. One of them is Dual Write. There is another one called Virtual Entities. And then there are business events, which we can use to make finance and operations data available in Power Platform. So what we have done here is, for this scenario, for this demo, I have created a tier 1 environment where we have Dual Write enabled. And in this case, Dual Write is enabled on few tables, which are running between this FNO instance and this environment US01. So basically, to look at all the tables, you come to tables, and here in all sections, you will see all the tables. So these are all the tables in Dataverse at the moment in my environment. And if I go to my Dual Write screen, where I can see which maps are running, and I can click on a particular map, it tells me here that this particular finance and operation data entity here is linked to this entity. Asset management, asset lifecycle model is linked to asset lifecycle model in Dataverse. So this asset lifecycle model is a name in my Dataverse table. So if I search here, let's say with the term asset, I will be able to see all these tables. And if I go to asset lifecycle model, this table here, what we see is actually created through the dual write framework when we do initial synchronization. And here we can see this is the structure of the table. Similarly, there are a few more tables. Another one is asset, I think, life cycle state, asset life cycle state, which I've used to create some sample data. So if I go back to asset life cycle state, this one. So when we click on the table in the web UI itself, we can see all the columns here. We can see what are all the 21 columns in this table, and we can see some data. So at the moment, my Dataverse table is connected to finance and operation tables. So if I go to finance and operation and open my life cycle state table, I will see the same data because I used finance and operation as my initial source for creating the data in Dataverse. So let's just reopen the page. I've seen if you go from dual write, it doesn't open sometimes properly. So I close this, come here. So these states, active, actively, C1 disposed, in repair, new, offline, this is the same you will see here. So if I create, let's say just for an example, if I create a new record here, let's say C2 from Dataverse, and let me add my company column because that's mandatory. Let's this. I'll just add my company column first. Done it. Yeah. So I'll add here C2, just giving a imaginary name, and here I select USMF. Yeah, and save it. Now I'm not using Power App at the moment, but I'm basically just creating a data directly in the Dataverse table. Now, if I go to my finance and operation, I'll see that my data is created because the integration is at the table level. Now, we can also take it to the next level by creating a UI on top of it. So I've already shown you how we can create a Canvas app. Now I will show how we can create a model-driven app. So in order to do that, we will use the same table, so which is our asset lifecycle state. So we go to home. We say start. Let's do like this. Let's go back there. Let's go to table. Actually, there was a shortcut we can use from there only. Asset lifecycle. So asset lifecycle state. Now, when I'm at the table, there is a button here to create an app. So these are quite powerful features. So I can say, okay, UGME asset lifecycle model app 01. So I can just click on create. And now what this control or this framework is doing is it's creating a model-driven app based on this table. So it's giving me a UI. So we have to understand the difference is that the Power App, which is of type Canvas app or a model-driven app, is giving us a UI to interact with the data and for end users to do their business processes. Whereas Dataverse is storing your data and giving you all that through dual write. It's only integrated at table level. So here you can see it has created a model-driven app. So this is a general look and feel of model-driven app. It has created multiple pages, and here it has created an edit page. I can actually play it now. So if I click on play, I am now actually running that app. Here you can see it is listing all the information which came out of that. I can click on new, and let's say we call it C3. And here it will give me lookup of all my companies. and C3, let's say ID. I click on save. Now, if this save is successful, that means it has been created in FNO because it's dual write, and dual write commit or is completed when it is able to create the data in the finance and operations side. So if I come to FNO and I refresh my screen, I should see C3 as my new record created. So now what we have experienced that I can create my data in ERP using a model-driven app. And because it's dual write, it synchronizes both ways. So if I say C3FO, if I click save, now this is creating and updating the record here. It's also updating in Dataverse. So now I have saved. If I go back to my Power App and I refresh my screen, C3FO, the name has changed. So the data is synchronized through dual write, but the UI experience is now being created through my model-driven app. So now what is the benefit? Because if I have a model-driven app, what else can I do with it? What I can do is I can actually add this in my teams. So what it can do is it can give my users an experience where they can simply open this app in their teams and they can interact with their ERP application. So if I close this and if I go back to this app, I haven't published it. Let me publish it. So until you publish, you can't really share it on the other channels. But let's say we have published it. And if I go back to my Power Apps homepage, and if I look at my apps, I should be able to see this UGME ALM app. Now, how do I embed it into Teams? I'll show you. So if I open my Teams channel, I have created a Teams channel for this demo. I can click on add, and here I can click on Power Apps. So when you click here, it shows you what all apps you have created. And here I can see show all. And here I can see all model-driven apps. Because I have multiple environments, it sometimes doesn't come up with everything. But here you can see it is now showing me all the apps across my environments. Here I should be able to see UGME ALM app, which we just created, and I click on save. So I've selected that Power App, and now I have embedded that into my Teams. So what the message here is, once you have your ERP data connected to Power Platform, you have all the capabilities of Power Platform to create solutions. This is not the only way. This is just one demo which I have created, right? So the possibilities are endless. Now my app is embedded into Teams and it's connected to FNO through dual write. So there are a lot of things happening behind the scenes, but for end users, the experience is pretty smooth. So as an end user, it could be like, I'm just taking an example of a very simple table, but it could be something else. But I can create my new records from a Power App embedded into Teams, which is talking to FNO, and I can create the data because Power App or model-driven app is not talking to FNO. Dataverse is talking to FNO. This app is only the UI. So that's an important thing to understand. So if I close it, I go back to my FNO and I refresh my screen, I should see FO. So C4 from Teams has been created back in my finance and operations. So this was one of the example where we wanted to showcase that using the One Dynamics, One Platform framework capabilities, how you can expose your data to Dataverse. And once your data is in Dataverse, you can either create a Canvas app or a model-driven app or a Power Page, and you can use all the connectors ecosystem to create some amazing solutions for your customers. So I'll just take a pause, see if there is any question. And if someone has any question, feel free to unmute. Accessible to everyone. What about security? Yes, so security can be enforced. So at the moment, currently, FNO security is different to Dataverse security. So yes, definitely security is an important aspect which can be configured, and the required access can be given. At this moment, I'm using a system admin account, and it's all Contoso demo database just for the demo. Cool. What is the license requirement to try Power Platform and Copilot features? Thanks, Ramanan. So at the moment, as of today, it is free. What you have to do is you have to host your Power Apps environment in US region. That is one of the prerequisites. So if you can basically go to your admin center and you can create a new Power App environment in US or so there are two regions. So if you go to Power Apps, click on new. Here you can either select United States or preview United States. Once you deploy this environment, uh, then automatically AI Copilot capabilities are enabled. In case you are not able to see that, then you can go into your environment settings and you can enable your Copilot capabilities from the settings. In order to uh, get access to Power Platform, you can sign up from the website. There is a free account you can create. So at the moment, there are a lot of things which come free in the trial version. Once it is generally available, please check the Microsoft announcements on how to use Copilot and what costing it will have. Another thing is for AI, for the Copilot capabilities, you also have to enable AI Builder under the hood. So if you have to use Copilot controls on your Power Apps, it consumes some of the AI Builder capacity. That's my understanding. I may be wrong, but that is something so far I have experienced. So you need to have AI Builder and Copilot enabled. But the key prerequisite is host your environment in US. So it's in preview mode. It's not yet generally available. Sorry. Cool. So I don't see any other question. Venkat, how are things from your side? Shall I move on to the next one?
Yes, Rachit. Yes, good.
All good. All right. So we have seen data, how we can bring data, how we can create a Canvas app, how we can create a model-driven app. Now we have curated one more scenario for you where we will use business events, workflow, approvals. So this is going to be a little bit more interesting. I'll try to go slow, not trying to complicate too much, but let me know if you want me to take a pause or something. So what are we doing? Um, we have actually now created this scenario. So the scenario is Venkat will create a GL journal. He'll submit it in the workflow. That workflow will come to me and I will approve it from Teams. And then once it's approved, I'll show you how we have done it. So Venkat, are you okay to share your screen and submit the journal?
Yes. Yes.
Good, thank you.
Just a minute. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Let me know once you're able to see my dynamic screen.
Yeah, we can see you, your Dynamics screen. We can see your password.
Cannot.
It's all dots. It looks like you're having some issue. Do you want me to run it? That's fine. Otherwise, or you want to give it a try? Let me see. I missed that.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. You can do ask later. Yeah. So we are using business events under the hood, but yeah, Venkatesh will show you the flow.
So we are in dynamic screen. So I'm creating a general journal. So which before going to general journal, I have the workflow created. So the workflow setup is completed. So this is the workflow which we have set up. And now I'll quickly create the journal and trigger the JV for the workflow. And then you can see how it triggers it from the business events. So created the lines and I'm selecting a vendor.
Just keep an eye on the journal number. It's 00639.
I'm good. Back and I'm submitting it for the workflow. Yes,
And give some unique
639.
comments. Yeah, just give some unique comments like
Yes. Is good.
Yeah.
Please upload. Yeah, it's submitted for the workflow.
cool. Thank you. So I will now share my screen, guys. So what we have done is I have added my Power Automate approvals in my Teams channel. So what this does is basically gives me a view of all the approvals which are pending my approval, my action. So in the meantime, let's have a look in the GL journal. Just have a look at the history of that journal. If it has been kicked in, was it 639? Yeah. Sorry, 639. If we look at the workflow history, I think it's still waiting for the engine to pick it up. So now it has picked it up. So if I come back to my workflow, sorry, come back to my Teams approvals app. Let's just refresh it. In the meantime, I'll also join this from my mobile. The reason is I want to showcase how easy it is to do all of this from your mobile apps as well. Let's join. So I'll join from my mobile. Let's say this is taking some time. Let me stop presenting from the screen and I'll start presenting from my mobile. Let me know when you can see my mobile screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So let's say I'm the sales. Let's say, for example, I'm the CIO or CFO. It's good to have that title in demos. And now I'm on field and I'm on my mobile. What was the journal number, Venkat? I think it was 639, right?
Yeah, 639, the first one.
Yeah. So as you can see, I'm in my mobile. I've got all my Power Automate approvals here. I can see that there is a journal waiting for my approval. I can click on approve and it is submitting the approval. And my approval is submitted successfully. So let's go back to Dynamics. I'll stop sharing from my mobile. I don't know how to stop sharing it now. Maybe I'll start sharing from here. Yeah. So now if I refresh my screen here, uh, 639.
I think, Rachit, your screen is not shared yet.
Okay, just a minute. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. So here you can see the journal history. the action has been approved. Now, because it was a mobile experience and using just out of the box approvals app, I saw the comment about the comment. So in this case, there was not that provision, but there are ways to do the enter the comment. So I'll show that now. What I'll do is, let me just see if my Teams is responding with the approvals app. We will create, yeah. So now all the approvals are coming. So let me create a new journal quickly and see how we can enter comments also. So if I go to general journal, so let's say now I have been uh, given AP clerk role. It's also a very interesting role. So now I'm wearing a different hat and I say, okay, I have some settlement coming up, which I want to submit for workflow. I say submit as discussed settlement for trip to Italy, for example. Yeah, so something. So now I've submitted a workflow here. Let's view the history. Let's check the journal number is 640. So what I'm using is like the default Power Automate approvals. So let's wait for it to get submitted. So it has been picked, submitted, journal number 640. If I go back to my Teams, and let's go back to my approvals flow. I will change my environment. Here you can see my approval is needed on journal number 640. So guys, think about the possibilities here. It's not about this use case. It's about collecting your workflow approvals in Power Automate across your organization. So not only FNO, you may have to approve something in your other application. You can use Power Automate to send that workflow here. So I can actually look at this approval request and it gives me a link which takes me directly to the journal. Here I can add my comments and I can say, awesome job, go ahead and post it. And here I can say approve and I can submit. So now what I'm doing, again, the thing is, don't worry about what we have done here. The thing is, you can take your workflow approvals outside FNO using Power Automate. You can approve from Teams and you can install your Power Automate approvals app on your mobile phone, which gives you that capability to do it on the on the field. So if you don't need to be in front of your system logged into your ERP application to do your workflow. If I go back to my workflow history, I can see that my approval action is taken and the comments which I gave are here. Now this approval is currently using Power Automate approvals. You can also do it using Teams. You can use adaptive cards. You can use anything in Power Platform. There are a lot of different capabilities. So how is it working? I'll quickly show you that also. What we have done is we have enabled a business event. So if I go to system administration and we have business events somewhere hiding here, you can see it set up maybe set up business events catalog. We have an active business event where we are basically capturing our workflow item. And in my Power Automate, we basically have Power Automate working, which is listening to that particular business event from that particular instance, reading the workflow details, parsing the JSON, validate the work item, and then it is looking at the condition, and then it sends for the approval. And then for each approval, it reads, and then it sends you a notification. Now, the best thing is all this I have not done from scratch because there is a template available for it. So if you go to your Power Automate and you go to your templates, and you can see fin and ops. These are the templates which are available in Power Automate for finance and operations. So these templates can be used as your jump starter kit. What I have shown you is purely based out of template. Just imagine how much you can improve it if you start putting your own thought process into it and you bring your Power Automate experts and Power Platform experts into the mix. They can create more amazing things. What I have shown you is purely based on the template, nothing added to it. So here I can see my Power Automate for workflow approval, send an email when business event is occurred, how you can update records, how you can copy Salesforce account into Dynamics AX Online Customer. So there are some templates where you can build some integrations between Salesforce and finance and operations. So these are all the templates available. So what I did, selected the template, clicked on continue, gave some paths and URLs, and it's all in front of you. So the benefit of using this template is it gives you a jumpstart material. So, and these templates are operation. So you can have templates related to approvals, for example. So all the different type of approvals. So if you are learning Power Automate, try to pick up a very simple approval. Say, okay, create an item in SharePoint, send an approval on Teams. Try to work with it. That will help you to uh, understand how this works under the hood. So don't worry about creating everything from scratch in the beginning. Use these templates. They will help you to get more confidence as you move forward with it. So just to summarize, what we did is we used business events, we used workflow, and then how did we bring that into Teams? Is basically you go to Teams and you click on apps and you add your approval apps here. So I came here and I added my approval apps. Which because it's already added, I'm not sure it will show here, but basically because it's already added here in my panel, that's why it's not coming here, but basically you can add your apps here. So this is how you can use Power Automate, workflow, business events. Again, trying to create a mashup here, just trying to showcase the possibilities. This is not something uh, which is the only possible way. But just as a health check, please, if you try to prototype any of these out of the box templates, please do them in a test environment before directly doing in a production environment and test with your customers and the implementations team before you start rolling these out. So this was demo number 3. Uh, all done from my side. Happy to take questions and open for any feedback. Let's look at the question. Thanks, Umesh, for the comments. Thanks, Lalit, for the feedback. Cool. All right. I don't see any questions in the chat window, but yeah, happy to take any questions if anyone wants to discuss about any possible scenario or anything. Just before closing out, guys, there are a lot of good materials available on YouTube. There are many good experts of Power Platform who are running their channels. Feel free to check them out, like Reza Dorani, April Dunman, Daniel Christian. There are so many. So feel free to check them out, follow their videos, try to practice the same thing which they have done. It will give you heaps of confidence. Uh, Read the licensing guide if you want to understand more about licensing, because there are some capabilities and some capacities which becomes available if you are into if you have finance and operation license. And third thing which we have not talked about is the ALM part, which is a bit more technical in nature. But how do you manage these solutions? How do you package it and move it into different environments? That is also a very key aspect if you start to roll out these Power Platform solutions to your customer. But I hope this gives you a good basic understanding of how we can use Power Platform with finance and operations. So thank you, everyone. Over to you, Venkatesh. Happy to take any further questions.
So thanks everyone for joining. Any more questions? We are still open.
Yeah, just a comment. The session was really good. So very informative. One point I want to add is the Power Automate desktop. So this is very different from Power Automate Cloud Flows. Power Automate desktop is basically you can actually install it on the desktop itself and then play around all your application or the web browser, which is actually sitting on your laptop or a server. and like you can input finance and operation URL, get your approvals or anything which you actually do repeatedly. You can actually automate those processes as well. Just a note.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mesh. Yeah. Just in time.
Yes. And I'll make this available in YouTube after some time, so you will see it. And if anybody wants to share that as well, you can share it, and we'll keep this available. And also putting this in LinkedIn, so you can follow us and see our updates. And I also recommend you to subscribe to our channel so that you'll not miss any more sessions.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining. Really appreciate taking time on a weekend and joining us for this session. It really means a lot.
Hi Venkatesh. This is Nagesh. Where can I get a recording of this session as this recorded?
Yeah, once it is uploaded, I'll share the link to you. Meanwhile, you can join us on the channel, so you will see once it is uploaded there. The channel link is in the group chat. If you see the Teams chat, it has the channel link.
Okay. Okay, Venkatesh, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other question or any other query anyone has? Anyone wants to unmute and share their experience of using Power Platform with FNO? If someone has used it, we would be interested in hearing your experience. You said you wanted to share something, Venkatesh?
I shared it in the Teams chat, so
Yeah, okay.
people can reach us with WhatsApp and this. So we keep updating the links for the recordings as well, and our future sessions will be keeping updating that.
All right then. Thanks everyone. Have a good evening, good night.
Thanks everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks.
joining.
Thanks, Rachel. Good night. Thanks, Venkatesh. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Rachit, for